When you've spent a few months hunting for a gaming laptop, you've probably already learned a painful lesson: cheap high-spec machines that look amazing on paper end up feeling like a constant compromise. You pull the plug after a half hour of a new title because the frame rate drops, the heat spikes, or the battery dies the moment you try to stream. The regret of that bargain basement purchase sticks with you, especially when you realize you could have saved a little more to get a system that actually delivers on the promises. So, does the HP Omen RTX 5070 with an AMD Ryzen 9 8940HX feel like the smarter buy? Or is it just another glossy label with hidden flaws? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the hesitation most buyers feel. You see a 16-inch screen, a 240Hz refresh rate, and a brand new RTX 5070 in the specs sheet, and the price feels like a sweet spot between entry-level and flagship. The question then becomes, will this laptop keep up with my daily grind, late-night raids, and occasional content creation without turning my desk into a sauna? To answer that, I've dug through the official specs, scoured forums where owners post their real-world experiences, and imagined the scenarios you'll actually face when you open the lid. First off, the heart of this machine is the AMD Ryzen 9 8940HX. 16 cores and 32 threads sound impressive, and they really do matter when you're juggling a modern AAA game, a Discord voice chat, and a browser with music streaming all at once. In practice, that CPU shows its worth when you launch games like Cyberpunk 2077 or Horizon Forbidden West at high settings, where the system rarely stalls even as the AI bots and particle effects ramp up. The difference shows up when you decide to dabble in video editing or 3D rendering on the side. Those tasks that usually slow down a typical 10th-gen Intel laptop suddenly feel fluid thanks to the extra cores. It's not just raw horsepower. The Ryzen 9's efficiency helps keep the fan noise from becoming a constant background hiss, meaning you won't have to shout over the laptop to hear your teammates. Memory is another real-world factor, and the Omen ships with a full 32 GB of DDR5 RAM. Most gaming laptops settle for 16 GB, which is enough for most titles, but once you start modding, running virtual machines, or keeping a hefty Photoshop file open while you game, you'll notice the breathing room. I've seen users who kept dozens of tabs open while streaming, and the frame rate never dipped below 120 frames per second on a 240Hz panel. That panel itself is a standout. It's not just the numbers on the spec sheet. The 25601600 resolution gives you a crisp, slightly taller workspace than the usual 19201080, which is perfect for games that benefit from a bit more vertical real estate, like MOBAs or strategy titles. And at 240Hz, the motion feels buttery smooth. You can actually see the difference in fast-paced shooters where each millisecond counts. The anti-glare coating also helps when you game in a bright room, eliminating the distracting reflections that often wash out a high-refresh display. Now, let's talk about the practical downsides. The most common trade-off with a high-performance laptop like this is battery life. The Omen is equipped with a 76Wh battery, which is generous for a gaming machine, but the RTX 5070 and Ryzen 9 draw enough power that you'll see roughly 2 to 3 hours of unplugged gameplay at medium settings. If you plan to game on the couch or during a commute, that isn't a deal breaker, but it does mean you'll need to keep the charger handy for longer sessions. Heat management is another reality check. The laptop's cooling system does a decent job under sustained loads, but after an hour of intensive gaming, the bottom of the chassis can get warm enough that you'll want a lap pad if you're using it on your knees. The fans tend to kick in at a noticeable pitch, which is acceptable for most users but could be annoying if you're recording voiceovers without an external mic. Who should buy this machine? If you're a gamer who wants to play the latest titles at ultra-high settings, stream at 1080p, and occasionally edit video or 3D models, this Omen hits the sweet spot. The combination of a top-tier AMD processor, ample DDR5 memory, and a fast RTX 5070 graphics chip means you won't be forced to lower settings just to maintain a smooth frame rate. It's also a good fit for students or professionals who need a portable workstation that can double as a high-end gaming rig. The included Thunderobot 7-in-1 USB-C hub adds extra flexibility. You get high-speed data transfer, a card reader, and a few extra ports without needing an external dock. That's handy for creators who plug in external drives, monitors, or audio interfaces on the fly. On the flip side, this laptop isn't for everyone. If you're a budget-conscious buyer who mainly plays older or less demanding games, you'll be paying for power you don't need. Likewise, if you travel frequently and rely on long battery life above all.